This is your First Alert Weather Breakdown, a deep dive into how weather works with meteorologist Evan Thomason.
Welcome on into the First Alert Weather Breakdown. I'm meteorologist Devonte Dixon. It's great to see you all back here again. This is the first time I've been on the First Alert Weather Breakdown in quite some time. And also, believe it or not, the only time I will be on the First Alert Weather Breakdown a whole work week. Welcome on. It is the middle of the work week. Want to give a quick shout out again to CJ and Jake for their help across the last few days. And I should say across the next several days. Jake will be your host again here for tomorrow. But I should say first for this podcast alone, hey, it is not a First Alert Weather Day. How about that? The first time in 6 days I've gotten to say that. We essentially have much, much better conditions in store here for today, which are giving us relief and, most importantly, trying to thaw out the ice throughout the Arklatex and throughout all of northern Louisiana as a whole, which we will get to who I'm talking with here in just a little bit. Here is the rundown here for you. We are talking with Devonte Dixon. If you thought the Arklatex got hit bad, oh man, I saw a couple numbers that I'll mention later on in our interview out towards Monroe. Devonte Dixon's waiting on the other line to talk with us here in just a little bit. What went over across northeastern Louisiana, including one thing we'll get to in a little bit, that big giant car pileup on I-20. Thankfully, it is moving along smoothly from Monroe over to Ruston here at this hour. But boy, was that a nightmare over the past couple 24 hours, if not more, 48 hours. It was quite a wild scene on I-20 that we had over the past 2 days. But thankfully, this morning it has ramped itself back up. It's good to get back in through the Arklatex here for you. And now we let ourselves into a pretty nice work week for you ahead, and not as much ice to be seen of once we get into the daytime itself and into certainly tomorrow. You can see a good minute pass carved out there into the downtown Shreveport camera there at this hour here around the Arklatex. Again, hopefully you're all having a good day. Enjoy the fact that, again, today is not a First Alert Weather Day. Calmer conditions, much more sunshine, much more blue skies, and most importantly, much more warmer temperatures all throughout the region to behold. We've got warmer temperatures for you in store for both today and tomorrow. That is the biggest headlines that we could probably possibly have around the region here for you. Good news, to help thaw out the ice here all around the Arklatex here for you for today and tomorrow. Over the course of the next couple days after that, though, we lead ourselves into a pretty chilly weekend again, where we'll actually have a good amount of sustained temperatures below the freezing mark again. So whatever doesn't thaw out and could survive here over the work week might actually survive legitimately through the weekend here for you. But again, good news is we got 2 solid days to where we are drying things out and getting the roadways a lot better. Next work week, at least for Monday, things are looking sunny. I will say next week we're looking at a chance of storms that's starting to pop up on the horizon and warmer temperatures, but cool overall. Temperatures right now already above the freezing mark. That's good. It's only 10:30. We got about 6 more hours of having temperatures sustained above the freezing mark here for you. It's still cold by all means, but temperatures almost up to that 40-degree temperature mark, and they definitely will eclipse that here for the day today as the sunshine carries on. Our main message of this entire week ahead is looking forward to this cold front, which is almost like a dry cold front. Thankfully, we're not dealing with any bits of mixed precipitation or any precipitation for that matter at all with this system. We could take a little bit of rain. Believe it or not, we're still in a little bit of a drought, even though we just had that last system come on through. But I will say rain would kind of help us out, not gonna lie, a little bit to even help melt things a little bit more. But anyways, the point is, this is a dry cold front coming on through. There could be a snow flurry. There could be a little bit of a rain drizzle coming on through, but I'm not expecting much from the system whatsoever in terms of precipitation. I am expecting much, much colder air to be packed behind this. Again, this hits on Thursday night, which means, again, 2 days that we're consistently warming up the temperatures here into today and into tomorrow, or we'll have actually a good warm-up again on our hands. What I mean by that is good sustained warmer temperatures that are well above the freezing mark here for you that actually get a little more closer to our typical average high temperature for this time of year. Then once we get into the weekend, that's when our cold blast is especially going to come into fruition here, mainly on Saturday before we quickly warm back on up into next week. So you could say this is a little bit of a temperature roller coaster coming on through over the next 7 days or so here for you. But for today and tomorrow, it's all about warming up. Again, we are on the incline here for you. High temperatures today into the upper 40s. 47 for New Boston, 48 for Texarkana, 47 in Foreman, 49 in for Atlanta. Many spots potentially reaching 50 degrees today, especially across the southern edge of our East Texas counties. Same goes for Northwest Louisiana, too. Would not be surprised to see Shreveport even reaching 50 degrees today. So those future track temperatures, again, pulling us up near 50 for today, but check out tomorrow. It's still going to be cold tomorrow morning, yes, but our morning temperatures have at least been a little steadily been picking up here day in, day out. Those will get into the upper 20s and lower 30s here to start off your Thursday. And then for Thursday afternoon, highs getting way up into the mid to upper 50s there for you. That will, I hope, certainly ramp everything up around here winter precip-wise. I really hope here by tomorrow here for you. So that's good news. Again, next 2 days, substantial warmth to help get our roadways essentially back to normal. Again, they're on their road to recovery here, certainly here through the day today, though. Highs, though, on Saturday, down to the mid-30s. This is probably our biggest change after that warm-up here for you, where we drastically cool things off. Highs, again, going to be struggling to even reach above the freezing mark there for the first half of the weekend. And as we discussed earlier, this is a bit of a temperature roller coaster because, again, highs tomorrow go up to 57 degrees. 2 days later, down to 34, but then 2 days later after that, back up to 57 degrees. So quite a up and down little slide here for us. Again, the goal is for us to just, again, thaw out within the next 2 days before having that big cool down on the way here for you. Now, for the future track, as I mentioned, there's not much in terms of precipitation going on over the next couple days, but there will be some rounds of cloud cover, more specifically here for tomorrow and Friday. I think we get more plentiful sunshine here for the day today on your Wednesday. If anything, maybe seeing a few little hints of some light little drizzles or technically some little snow flurries maybe peeping in to the region here, but overall, for the most part, things are looking pretty bone dry here around the Arklatex through the weekend. In fact, next 5 days, take a look at the long-range future track. This will go all the way cruise through your weekend here, which we maintain beautiful blue skies and sunshine throughout the region. It's not until we get into almost the middle of next week that we start to see some rain coming back here for Tuesday and Wednesday. If you want to look forward to when the rain could come back, I would watch out for a major scatter round of storms coming back for you then, again, somewhere around the middle of next week. But as for the next couple of days, though, rain-free, at least for the next 5 days. Again, rain starting to appear at the very tail end of the 7-day forecast, which we'll get to right after this. Here is the weekend forecast here for you. 30s for highs, only again here for Saturday. 40s for Sunday, a little bit warmer in for that day. Plentiful sunshine. Plans should be fine. We should hopefully be completely thawed out again, also by that time frame, but it's just going to be immensely cold. So please bundle up on your way out the door. 7-day forecast. Honestly, I feel like this is one of the quicker forecasts I've gotten through in recent memory, not going to lie, because we were keeping you first alert with lots of details on the weather forecast last week. So it's good to have a nice, easier change of pace here, especially because, again, we do not have a chance of rain or snow in here until we get into the middle of next week. And even then, I think that's mostly going to be rain. Highs are looking to be sustained in the 50s, not just into Monday, but throughout most of next week. It's just going to be looking forward to that one big cool down on the way for the weekend. That could drop our morning lows down to the teens and lower 20s. So watch out for that for the start of your weekend mornings. But besides that, you got temperatures in the 30s and 40s only from between Friday and Sunday afternoon, but at least we get highs today up to around 50 degrees here for you. So that'll be nice and impressive here. Again, we do need a little bit of rain. I do want to mention that real quick. Drought monitor. It is completely widespread around the Arklatex here, despite that last little winter storm coming on in. To be fair, that that drought monitor has not fully adjusted from the winter storm yet. That comes out every single Thursday. We had all of our winter precip obviously come through last weekend, so that'll be updated again here for tomorrow, but could use a little bit of rain, especially back in here. But let's deal with that next week. Let's at least dry things out. Sunshine will help us out a lot. Again here for the day today with, most importantly, warmer temperatures. All right, we have Devonte on the other line. We will talk with him after a quick commercial break. Again, Devonte is my good friend over in Monroe, Louisiana. Obviously, lots of impacts over towards northeast Louisiana, similar to what we got here in the Arklatex. We'll talk it all out and see and kind of recap this winter storm and how it's gone for both of our regions here. Coming up after this quick commercial break. We'll see you after this. Welcome on back to the First Floor with a Breakdown. Again, I'm meteorologist Evan Thomas, and welcome on in to our exclusive content here for the day today, which has an interview in store. If you thought things have been bad for us in the Arklatex, which they have been, again, numerous accidents that we've had around the Arklatex, obviously many schools closed. That goes up into Texarkana, too. I wish the best for everybody around that area, but somebody who can certainly sympathize with that is everything that's gone over towards northeast Louisiana. And I will say, well, first of all, welcome on, Devonte. Hopefully you're doing much better here for the day today. Welcome on into the show. First, let me tell you, or not let me tell you, but can I ask just how are you, first and foremost, just at this very time?
I am doing well. It has been quite a wild ride, I will say, over the weekend through this week. In fact, I'm on my 10th day of working, and I'm not complaining because it's always about the people. That's the way I look at it. It's always about the people. So I really don't care about how many days I work.
Hmm.
But it has definitely been quite a lot over the past several days.
Yeah, this has been a marathon for all of us, essential
Yes.
workers all around the Arklatex and for the Arkla Miss as well around your region. One of the we could dive into so many headlines surrounding around this winter storm, but one of the ones I want to first dive into is that I could probably come visit you now. You know, the drive between Shreveport and Monroe is what, about like 2 hours on a usual day. Over the
Yep, that's about right.
over the past few days, I definitely could not make that in 2 hours, though, by any means. So, can we first go over the road, how the road conditions have been, especially with that major accident? I think that happened between what was it, Monroe and Ruston?
Yes, I know. Traffic was what backed up for hours. I know it's been situations where people have been just sitting in parked in their cars or vehicles in general for a few days. It's just been quite that bad. I think roads are traffic is starting to move a little bit faster now, moving at an easier pace. As far as road conditions around here, we're starting to see a lot of that ice melt, which is great. Temperatures are much warmer. We're seeing a lot of sunshine. I know we're climbing, as you mentioned, temperatures are reaching into the 50s. We have the chance to hit 50 across the arc limits, at least this afternoon. If not today, then tomorrow. But we're just soaking up all the sunshine and taking in the warmth that we could certainly use to help melt a lot of that ice. I know our biggest concern is, of course, when that ice melts, it refreezes overnight. And so black ice have been the big topic over the past couple of days, watching out for those slick spots. But outside of that, a lot of people have been on the roads, moving around. I think the biggest other issue is the downed trees and power lines and things like that, because we picked up quite a bit of damage from this ice storm. In that, some homes have been from it, following their homes and stuff. So yeah, it's been quite rough.
Yeah, it has been quite rough for both of our regions. I will say you kind of tailored your conversation a little more into power outages as well, which what I wanted to get over. Um, I got sent down to Alexandria actually to cover the winter storm, over to help our sister station KALB, another
Mhm.
news station right in downtown Alexandria. Um, One of the things I was just on my shift down there, one of the things that we were constantly looking at and keeping our viewers aware of is power outages, which were ongoing across northern Senla. But there was always one parish that just kind of outtook the cake when it took to power outages, sadly. And it happened to be Ouachita Parish, which covers obviously
Yes.
Monroe. So how did that go? Obviously across the bulk of your region, because that was nearly what, like 50% of your parish residents. I think you told me real quick that you didn't lose power, thankfully, but obviously tons of people did.
Yes, lots of people lost power. Lots of people are still without power. I know Entergy is trying their best to get out and get power restored for many residents, but I know there's still more than 40,000 without power, specifically in Ouachita Parish. And so, of course, it's been a long road for a lot of people that hasn't had power since Saturday, especially with it being so cold, temperatures below freezing, and things like that. So I've really been thinking about those people who, could certainly use some warmth. I know I've been stressing a lot to find ways to stay warm. I said that several times, but that's the reason why I've been saying that is because lots of people are without power and has been without power for several days. And I know their goal is to get most of the power restored tonight by tonight, and whatever people who doesn't have their power restored today, then hopefully by tomorrow.
That's
That
still one of
is
the.
Institute's plan.
Yeah, I gotcha. That's still one of, again, the biggest problems with the system was how long it lasted and how long it's
Yes.
knocked out all the travel issues. And obviously, the utility workers have to use those roadways to be able to restore power in certain scenarios. Just to retrack one with this question real quick, when did everything start getting bad for you? Because it started really degrading down here early Saturday morning, but probably reached you a little later. But even then, we're still talking 3-4 days of where people have been in the dark.
Correct. It started getting bad here. I would say mid morning, like around 7, 8, somewhere up in there. We started getting, the first little wave of freezing rain and sleet moving into our area. At that moment, we didn't have anything too crazy happening. It was just in the process of the freezing rain and sleet, mix coming down, that conditions started to deteriorate across the area. Then when we had that second round move through after a little brief lull in the activity, the second round moved through late in the I believe late in the evening, overnight, and into Sunday morning. And so people who did not lose power ended up losing power by Sunday with that second round that moved through. And so that's when things started really going downhill as the day progressed across the area.
I gotcha, man. As I said, I wish the best for you and your area all the way moving forward. Just so with so many power outages and those roadways, especially rural roadways. I know I-20 had its complete havoc, but I made my drive up yesterday from Alexandria to Shreveport. All I could just stare at were the trees. Even they were close to falling on top of the interstate. So I can only imagine what those rural roadways must have been for being blocked for a significant portion of time.
Yes.
in that area,
I've seen a
which
lot of trees just just sitting across the road, just laying out across the roads. It was just, I was like, yikes. It almost reminds you of the aftermath after a severe thunderstorm or even a
yeah.
tornado. That's just how bad the tree, debris is, I would say, from, trees falling down, tree limbs and branches.
I mean, that's
It's
what's causes power outages in the first place, the weight of the
right.
ice on top of everything. So obviously, you guys were
Hmm.
kind of a bullseye for that, to be
Right.
quite frank with you. So,
And
yeah,
people
the
don't
fact,
realize the power of ice. It can really, the weight of ice can really do some damage.
yeah, big time. That's what certainly this story wrote here for us. I got two more things here for you. Is there anything kind of surprising that the system brought to you? Obviously, this is kind of a unique experience for you. Just out of curiosity, and this is kind of a side question. This question: did you have to end up spending the night at the news station because it was like too unsafe for you to go back to your apartment?
Um, I did have the option to do so, to stay at the station. Um, I ended up being able to make it back home safely. I had, of course, power and things like that. And so when conditions started to wind down, I was able to drive, carefully back to my home and things like that. But like I've been stressing to a lot of people, do not get on the roads when road conditions are awful. Do not drive when there's ice on the roads and the slick spots, things like that, of that nature. But I was able to, fortunately make it back home. Um, yeah,
That's
that's
fair. Yeah, cool. That's fine enough. As I said, I guess I was surprised by just I think the last little wave. I'm not sure if it was like there was a little coating of snow at the very end of the system. I think,
yes,
which made it a little more surreal to me because I thought it was just gonna go back to like a sheet of ice across everywhere, but then it kind of turned into a little bit of a winter wonderland when I realized it got back in down to Shreveport. So
yeah. We had a little bit of snow Saturday night, which was quite a surprise because of course this was mainly a freezing rain and sleet event, but we just so happened to get a little bit of snow, which we knew that we could see maybe some snow mixing in, but we had a nice little period of just snow.
yeah.
And so when I woke up and I looked on Facebook and noticed, oh, we had snow. I thought that was pretty cool. But it's hard to really enjoy the snow when you have, ice impacting most of the region, so you can't really enjoy it.
Yeah, when it impacts daily lives.
Right.
I'd like to give a kind of a sad shout out as well, obviously, to I think the deaths that were reported. I think the case is up to like 8,
Mhm.
I think, in the state of Louisiana now, between
Yes.
hypothermia, car-related deaths, sadly, and I think I'm missing another one. But anyways, kind of a wild situation that can honestly force the loss of life, which is horrific, just for anybody between the two of our regions. So obviously, I'm glad you're improving, and that's kind of the final question I have for you in this, I guess, little interview here for you is. You're expecting to improve, right? I do see. Even though your background is like blurred out, I can still see the tiniest pocket of little light blue to the top right of your screen. So I'm guessing things are
Yes.
looking on the up for you weather-wise over the next couple of days.
You're on point. Lots of sunshine. I'm looking at the sky right now, just a pretty blue sky. Temperatures are already on the climb. We're sitting in the upper 30s here in Monroe, expecting to make it into the upper 40s this afternoon, with the possibility of hitting 50 in some areas. Tomorrow, we're looking at mid 50s. And then, of course, we have that cold front that's moving through Thursday night. And that one, of course, will usher in some big time cold air. But until then, like you've been stressing, we're just enjoying this nice thaw that we are experiencing over the area. And a lot of us are enjoying it because, typically 40s for us in the South is quite chilly. But with a situation like this, 40s feels like the 70s and 80s at this point. So something to certainly enjoy.
I think last thing to go along with that point, I feel like we would warm up a lot more quickly if it wasn't for the actual snow on the ground, because that's kind of just
Yes.
radiating like cold air when it tries to evaporate back into the atmosphere. So
And
it's kind of wild.
and I want to And I want to piggyback off of that because yesterday temperatures struggled to really warm up. Like we did warm up, climbed above freezing. I know
Yeah.
Monroe was below freezing for 79 hours. That is ridiculously long. But we was below freezing for 79 hours, and temperatures were struggling to really warm up. But yet we still climbed above freezing yesterday, around 11. And like you mentioned, that ice pack is what really kept temperatures down, for the most part. And so thankfully, with a lot of it, I guess melted yesterday, that's
Hmm.
not really a huge concern with temperatures warming up the next few days. But we are expecting a lot of it to melt at least by Friday. Most of it should be melted.
That's fantastic news, obviously, for you and your area. I was trying to count on my fingers how many hours 79, or how many days 79 hours was. I believe that's 3 full
That's
days.
about 3.
3. Wow. That's incredible.
Yes.
That's incredible for a
Very, very
town
cold.
like Monroe. My goodness. But no wonder you froze over. But obviously, and thankfully, this is the end of it for you guys. Which again,
Oh,
looking forward
yes.
to some brighter days ahead. I myself was out yesterday afternoon without a heavy coat. It felt fantastic. So hopefully we'll be back to driving out to normal, and I won't have to increase my commute by about 10 minutes on a 15-minute commute to work. So.
Oh, yes, definitely.
That'll be nice. But anyways, thank you very much for joining us, Devonte, here for the day today. I wish you and your area out towards Monroe the best of luck, and can't wait to see you again soon.
Likewise, I appreciate it, and thank you for having me.
Cool, appreciate it. And thank you for watching the First Look with a Breakdown. Again, thanks for watching us here on our KSLA.com live stream and on our YouTube platform as well. Hey, you have a great rest of your day. Jake will be on with the First Look with a Breakdown here for tomorrow at 10:30, same time, same place. Be there, be square, most importantly. Stay weather aware. Enjoy the sunshine. Enjoy the snow melting away here for a smoother commute all around here to end off this work week before we cool off into the weekend. We'll have plenty more on that coming up in a later forecast. But for now, take it easy. See ya.